Hey all, Mac here. I've been playing the first Descendant, and I wanted to farm Ultimate Bunny to see how long it would take, as well as figure out the methods to do so. And in doing so, I decided I wanted to make a video to kind of demonstrate the efficient methods to farm her. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying it is a grind and a half. There's a lot of RNG involved, so you can either end up on the lucky side and get this done pretty fast, or you can end up on the unlucky side and be doing this for a lot longer than what is expected on average. But that being said, because the drop rates are so low for some of her parts, it's going to come down to what you're really enjoying as opposed to what's the most efficient. But nevertheless, if you enjoy efficiency, then this guide might be helpful. I want to go over each of her components as well as where you can find them, the different options you have, but most importantly, to me at least, the efficient ways that I've found to farm these parts. Bunny's Enhanced Cells blueprint can be acquired from either the reactor missions or the Stunning Beauty. Through the reactor missions, it is a 10% drop chance from the amorphous material which you get from outposts. These outposts are better done with Sharon because you can do them through stealth, and it will give you an extra 5 to 25% chance to drop an additional amorphous material, or just one in general. You also get a higher chance with stabilizers, which is kind of nice. But all the while, these outposts are kind of wonky with their respawn times, and I personally do not like farming them. I think it's potentially better to have a very efficient route in a mission. So, the other option is to farm the Colossi Stunning Beauty with the corresponding amorphous material 009. This mission, the Forgottens, is a normal mode mission in Sterile Land, and it is a very fast mission. You can complete this anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes, depending on how efficient you are. But I will run through a demonstration and kind of give you a rundown of how to run this mission efficiently as possible. Okay, so the Forgottens is located in the restricted zone in normal Sterile Land. You're going to be going into this on private. If you have your own bunny, this is the fastest way to farm it. You really don't want to do public because there's a lot more variance, some people might be slower, and matchmaking might not be that fast now that people are progressed beyond this point. So for this mission, there are a couple nice things about it. You do get components for the crystallization catalyst, the murky residues. So when you start out, you want to just jump down here, avoid the stagger by just using your second jump right before you land. You can grapple across this. Enemies are going to spawn right here, so you can go ahead and start popping your AoE right here. And get this first wave of enemies, and right here another will spawn, so you just want to wait right here and progress on. For this, you want to grapple across. Wave of enemies, path directly towards this interactable. One more wave will spawn right behind here, so have your AoE up, and make sure to aim across where you came from to kill the sniper. Next room, make sure you don't leave any stragglers behind here. It's kind of annoying if you do, so just be sure you're kind of in range. You can walk on the edge right there to make sure you don't leave anybody. I sometimes just look back. This is where the elite spawns and where you'll get murky residues. See right there, we got 13. And just clear around the room until you are able to interact with this. Once you completed that, grapple up here. If you have speed, you can jump across, otherwise grapple there as well. And for this, grapple across here, come up, and grapple again. In this area, you can literally just run through all the monsters, make sure that you do kill all of them. But again, with enough AoE on Bunny, you can kind of just blitz through these. This grapple, cross. Jump across and grapple across. And you'll be at the final area for the mission. It's a decent bit of running, but there's not any other sort of long parts of the mission, so that's pretty nice. And the longer part is also very easy. So now we're nearing the boss. Just want to jump across. And the boss will spawn here. With Bunny, you can honestly just run up here. He does the whole knockback thing, and it can knock it down, slows it down slightly. Again, if you're looking for efficiency, you might as well do everything as efficiently as possible, right? So you just avoid that AoE. And Bunny's AoE will take care of the balls. And from here, you interact, and there's your mission and your amorphous material. Go ahead and press F2 and restart the mission. That is the fastest way to re-enter the mission. Took me an overall 4 minutes 14 seconds with a couple small inefficiencies. Okay, now onto what I think is probably one of the worst parts for Bunny. The options to farm this piece is just, they're not very good. Hard Frostwalker is an awful fight to play with randoms because you never know if someone's going to be able to do mechanics, or if you're able to do mechanics consistently, it's still a gamble on whether or not they're able to shoot weak points, get enough fires. It's a mechanics check fight that I think the public currently is struggling with a lot, so getting consistent results from this is really tough. That being said, if you have a pre-made, you can get the amorphous material from a mission that can drop 2 at a time and potentially have a decent chance for stabilizers. And if you get 2 at a time, you're getting a good, I want to say 20-something% chance for stabilizers. So it's definitely an option if you can do that with a pre-made. But if you cannot, the only other option besides fusion reactors is Dead Bride, which is an easy fight. However, you need to do defense. And defense is good and bad for a couple of reasons. It's good because you can get catalysts on the final wave, which is obviously a really nice thing. You get a lot of XP for Firearm and Descendant if you are doing that. The downside is that there's apparently a lot of AFKers right now, which makes it a little bit more difficult, but if you have a decent Bunny build up and running, then you should be able to do this. You can also farm it with any other Descendant that's able to clear it well. Just as long as you're able to clear the mission later into the waves, it's going to up your chances of getting this amorphous material. And unfortunately, this is a 3% drop rate, so it's never going to be easy, and it's going to be a grind and a half, but once you do get it, never have to worry about it again. It's a one-time thing with all of these. So the Spiral Catalyst for Ultimate Bunny is actually relatively easy to farm. You are going to want to be able to kill Hard Pyromaniac. I don't really think the other two options are all that good. But you get this amorphous material pattern 87 from hard mode Chapel in Echo Swamp. This mission isn't really that fast, but there are ways to do it somewhat faster. You're going to want to take a decent Descendant in. If your Bunny is like kitted out, then you can run base Bunny in here, but otherwise just use someone like Lei to just be able to guarantee that you kill the boss. So for this mission, you're going to want to get 51,480 points. So you get a 20% chance for a stabilizer and 2 of the amorphous materials. Be sure when you come to this, don't immediately just start clicking stuff. Go and change the amorphous drop reward to the one with the Ultimate Bunny Spiral Catalyst. Fun note, you also do have a 6% chance to get an energy activator, so if you need those, I actually ended up getting, I want to say, either 1 or 2 energy activators before I got the Spiral Catalyst. So I kind of got unlucky there, but I guess you could say it's lucky instead of unlucky. But either way, when you check this, you'll see your kill score goes up. You don't want to do 150. That's a little too low. Instead, try to look for something like close to 200. So. So the first mission objective is going to be to seize this point. My personal opinion, it's going to be really good to grapple up here. The only thing that happens is one tracker is going to spawn over here, but otherwise you can just kind of shoot down with whatever gun you have. Gives you a nice vantage point, and you don't have to kind of shoot up because there's a ledge right there that makes it really annoying to shoot the mobs coming out of those portals. There will be mobs spawning over there as well, so do watch out for that. Most likely, you want to be doing this on a character that's like able to run kind of fast, but it doesn't need to be super fast, it just needs to not die. See right there, we are going to get 2 of those material patterns, which is really nice. And in total, this mission took around 11 minutes. This is probably the longest mission in this list. Again, you only need 51k, so you can skip some stuff if you have a high percentage roll for the kill score modifier. But the nice thing again about this is the Spiral Catalyst is a 20% drop rate. You don't have to do too many of these. Now, finally, for the Ultimate Bunny code, the 2 realistic ways to farm this. I would not farm Hangman. This is another mechanics check, and it's actually probably harder than Obstructor. If you have unlocked Obstructor, this is not really that bad of a boss fight. You can occasionally get groups that struggle with the mechanics, but for the most part, you just gotta shoot the balls moving towards the boss, and yeah, it's a 6% drop rate either way, whether you do reactors or the mission amorphous, so that's kind of up to you. I personally still like the mission ones because I know I can do them consistently, and I know I don't have to rely on having to farm void shards. And again, the big thing is if you can't farm void shards efficiently, it dramatically slows down farming this, because not only do you have to test for the 25% chance if you don't have Sharon, but if you do have Sharon, even then it's still a 50% chance to get the amorphous material pattern. And then you're also looking for the void shards, and if you don't have the right element for those void shards, then you're just having to farm inefficient missions for them. Okay, so Old Mystery in Hagios, up in Starfall Road. This mission is pretty annoying. Even more so is the kill score that you need to get double drop. I don't think this is worth it. I think going for 33k is much more realistic. 66k, you need like 230%, you need to kill everything. You need to wait during one of the missions. It just extends it to a point where I think there's diminishing returns, and I don't think it's personally worth it. So what I do instead is I just check this mark right here. It gives me 150 and guarantees the 33k, and can start from there. If you do decide to run mods on this mission, I highly, highly recommend that you do not run jump, sprint, or grappling hook disabled, as it makes this mission extremely difficult, if not impossible. I don't believe you can do the jump puzzle part without grappling hook or jump. So if you have both of those disabled, you're kind of screwed. This room right here is kind of nice in that there are elites that spawn in here that drop heated plasma cells, which you need to craft the energy activators with. The honest best way to get this one is to just fly down through here. I like to jump and go across. That way you get more of them. You can also grapple across here and you'll get this one. There are checkpoints, but I wouldn't worry too much about those. You want to grapple right as that laser is passing and going up. This one you can kind of just jump and grab. You don't need to grab all of them on the way, but I would try to get the ones that are like 2 or 3. Like I missed those 3, so I'm gonna have to get more later on, which is fine. This one right here, it's easy to get. Again, you see how having jump or grappling hook disabled makes this nigh impossible. I just wouldn't do this mission if you are trying to roll those mods. One thing to note, at the very top of this, there are going to be some vanguards waiting to knock you off. So right here, I personally like to just jump so I can get to an angle where they can't knock me off. And there's also 2 vanguards right there that are going to try and knock you off. Again, same thing, jump so you get to a safe angle and kill them there. And now there's going to be lasers here. Don't jump too fast, you're going to get juggled around, it's going to suck. So, as you can see, we hit the 50% mark. Only got one, but yeah, that's about it. This mission did take me roughly 9 to 10 minutes every clear that I did for my ultimate bunny, so that's what you should be expecting. So how fast you can actually farm ultimate bunny is going to be dependent on 3 primary things, and that's going to be how fast you can run the mission for the amorphous materials, how fast you can kill the colossi to open the amorphous materials, and your luck. Unfortunately, I think the biggest determining factor here is going to be your luck. With drop chances of 3% to 6% for some of the parts, and the only real decent one being 20%, it can be really challenging to stay motivated when you've done like 15 to 20 of an amorphous material and have gotten nothing. I think once they add trading to this game, and they implement it, if it's anything like Warframe, it's going to make getting the spare parts or getting other components that you may already have duplicates of feel a little bit better. But until then, it is a little bit of a grind, so this is why I stress the important thing of just do what is enjoyable for you. If you do enjoy doing reactor missions and you do enjoy farming those, do that. That is an option. If you want to go do void missions and you have the ability to actually farm the right element, or even if you don't and you want to farm inefficiently, if that's what's going to allow you to enjoy the game, I think that's the right way to play it.